I gave a faint smile, brushing it off. Who really remembers silly childhood promises made in the sandbox? Apparently, my parents did. Uncle Martin and Aunt Grace have brought it up again. They'd like us to become in-laws, just as we all joked about when you were little, my father said firmly. And frankly, sweetheart, you're at a good age to settle down. Ryan has a good job. Comes from a decent family. What more could you want? What more? Maybe a love that didn't feel like a contract. A gaze that made my heart skip. A man who'd hold my hand not because he was told to, but because he couldn't bear not to. But that wasn't on the table. My parents weren't forcing me, but the weight of their quiet hopes, the softness of their pleas, carried a pressure louder than any command. And I was always the kind of daughter who didn't know how to say no. So I said yes. The wedding happened 3 months later. Swift, elegant, and hollow. Ryan was everything a respectable husband should be: polite, presentable, well-mannered. Our families were delighted, but I felt like an actress playing the role of a perfect bride. On our wedding night, he gently placed a hand on my shoulder. Let's do our best, okay? Even if we're not in love, we're husband and wife now. I nodded. Not sure if it was his words that comforted me, or simply the exhaustion of carrying other people's dreams for too long. We began our marriage like housemates in matching rings. I convinced myself love could come later, but instead of love came doubt. At first, everything seemed fine. Ryan was courteous, remembered anniversaries, left me sweet goodnight texts when away. It was calm. Even pleasant. I thought, maybe this is enough. But one evening, I called him around 8 p.m., his usual time to come home. He picked up on the 5th ring, voice distracted. I'm in a meeting with a client. I'll be home late. There were no background voices, no clinking glasses, just soft jazz music playing faintly. Something about the way he said, client, made my skin crawl. I brushed it off, until the next morning, when I found his white dress shirt still draped over the chair. It carried the faint scent of a woman's perfume. Not mine. I didn't wear perfume. From then on, I watched him more closely. New cologne. New passwords on his phone. Coming home freshly showered, something he'd never done before. One evening, I cooked his favorite dish. He barely touched it. I already ate with a client, he said, standing up without looking at me. That night, I told my mother-in-law, Mrs. Leland. I didn't want to accuse, just ask. She looked at me long and hard. Then nodded quietly. I'll look into it. I had never imagined myself in this position. A wife asking her mother-in-law to investigate her own son. But then, one night, Ryan came home drunk. He collapsed at the doorway, slurring words that pierced me deeper than any blade. Who wants a wife like her? A damn log in bed, not like her. I stood frozen, watching the man who once promised to protect me now humiliate me in his sleep. I didn't cry. I just covered him with a blanket and locked the bedroom door. I didn't sleep at all. The next day, Mrs. Leland called me into her room. She placed a phone on the table and played a video. Ryan, holding hands with a girl, entering a hotel. Her face wasn't clear, but the red heels, the flowing curled hair, it wasn't me. Mrs. Leland's face was pale. Her lips a tight line. If you're willing, I'll go with you to confront them, she said. I'm not defending Ryan. But I need to see that girl's face for myself. I nodded. Neither of us had any idea how much darker this story was about to become. Because when the door to that hotel room opened, Mrs. Leland froze. Her teacup slipped from her fingers, shattering on the floor. The woman with her son was the daughter of the woman Mrs. Leland had once stolen her own husband from, decades ago. What began as a marriage was now a cruel echo of a long-forgotten war.